If you are perplexed by the difference between LangChain and LangGraph and all the different ways you can create agents in the LangChain ecosystem, then I have great news for you. I'm going to explain everything and I'm going to demo it all, and it's only going to take me a few minutes. There's only one hard concept to explain, and once I've explained it, the mystery will be gone, and then I'll clarify it with some code examples. And here it is. It's that the LangChain ecosystem can be thought of as having 4 levels of abstraction. It's like 4 layers, which each build on the ones that came before. And I'm going to walk you through the 4 layers now and then show you them. And the first layer, the one on the bottom, is where we have the most control and the most granularity. And it's how most of us first use LangChain. This is the abstraction code that wraps calls to LLMs. It allows us to glue together different LLM calls, to chain them together, and it allows us to do things like calling tools. It's the abstraction code around common LLM tasks. And LangChain first brought us this abstraction layer in late 2022, and it really took off in 2023. They were early to the field. They were one of the first, and it was the go-to framework for abstracting LLMs. Nowadays, it's more common to find lighter weight frameworks like LightLLM just for this purpose, but it's still extremely popular as an abstraction layer. And built on top of this layer is LangGraph. And LangGraph is an orchestration framework. It's an ability to build a dependency graph, which actually could have nothing to do with LLMs at all. You could use LangGraph to build any kind of dependency graph. But if you're going to be organizing multiple calls to LLMs and you want it organized into a repeatable, robust, bulletproof dependency graph, then LangGraph is the way to do it. A framework built on top of the LangChain Core. And I used to think of LangGraph as being a higher level framework because it's built on top of level 1, on top of the building blocks. But of course, there are other levels built on top of it. Okay, this is where it gets real. The third layer is the closest we have to an agent framework. This is something that's very similar to OpenAI Agents SDK. It's a function, create agent, and it sets up a whole agent, an LLM call in a loop with tools. But here's the thing. This is part of the LangChain framework. Create agent is part of LangChain. It's LangChain create agent. Behind the scenes, the way it works is that it creates a LangGraph dependency graph. It sets up a LangGraph dependency graph, and what that does is it makes calls to LangChain Core components. So here you have layer 3, the agent framework in LangChain, built on top of layer 2, which is the orchestration in LangGraph, built on top of layer 1, which are the core components back in LangChain. Now that's a bit confusing. And if I've lost you, don't worry, it's going to click when you see the code. This brings us to the 4th layer. There's a 4th layer. The 4th layer is called Deep Agents. And it's something new that LangChain came up with a few months ago, as if they hadn't confused us enough already. So Deep Agents is an agent harness, which means it's able to run LLM calls repeatedly to achieve a goal. It's able to do things like use built-in tools like file system read and write. It's able to run sub-agents, and it's able to keep going. It's akin to something like Claude Agent SDK, or maybe the OpenAI Sandbox agents, but it's something that is an overall agent harness. That is Deep Agents, and it's built on top of layer 3, on top of layer 2, on top of layer 1. That's how they all fit together. That is the 4 layers of the LangChain agent ecosystem. And now for something different, I'm going to walk you through the code in Google Colab. And that means there's just going to be a link in the description. You can open it up, sign in with your Google account, and then with just a tiny bit of setup, you will be good to go. No repo to clone. It starts with just a quick recap again of the 4 levels of LangChain abstraction in the agent ecosystem, but I think you get it. There's the building blocks, the original abstraction layer that was LangChain. There's the orchestration framework, LangGraph, built on top of it. There is the agent framework in LangChain Create Agent. And then there's the agent harness in Deep Agents. And we are now going to try out each of those layers in turn. I mentioned there's a tiny bit of setup. I'm assuming that you have an OpenAI API key from any of my other videos, and you may have an Alpha Vantage API key from the OpenAI Sandbox video I did. If not, it really doesn't matter. It's free. It's good for 25 stock lookups, and so it's perfectly good for this demo if you wish. Totally optional, you don't need it. But when you have those keys, you press this button right here, which is the key symbol, and you make sure you add in with the right name and for both OpenAI and AlphaVantage, and you paste in the value carefully, making sure you don't have any stray carriage returns, making sure it's good, and you turn them both on. That means that you'll have those secrets set in your Google Colab, and we're ready to give it a try. And I've run my pip installs, installing LangChain and LangChain OpenAI. And this, confusingly, is layers 1 and 3. And LangGraph is layer 2. And Deep Agents is layer 4. I've installed them all. I've imported the relevant packages. I've checked. My API keys are set. Let's go on to layer 1, the building blocks. It's where LangChain began. It is the basic abstraction around making a chat completions call to an API. And chat OpenAI is one of the core classes. It wraps the OpenAI API, and the method that you call is invoke. That's a very common method in LangChain. It's a way of running this API. And we can do LLM is chat OpenAI and tell it the model GPT 5.4 mini. And then we call LLM.invoke. That is how you call a model with LangChain. In one sentence, what does it mean to say that an AI agent is autonomous? And we get back, an AI agent is autonomous if it can perceive its environment, make decisions, and act towards its goals on its own without needing human guidance. There we go. We just wrapped a call to OpenAI and got a response about autonomous agents. But layer 1 is more than that. Layer 1 also has stuff to simplify tool calling and structured outputs. To give you an example with tool calling, it's super simple. You can use this decorator @tool, which will be familiar to many of you because it's like the @function tool decorator in OpenAI Agents SDK. And so, for example, if I want to look up a stock price, I've got this function here, fetch live price, that does a look in AlphaVantage. And now I've written a tool, get share price. It first of all tries looking in AlphaVantage, and if it doesn't find something, it just looks it up in a dictionary instead. So you don't need to have this set up. But it has here a docstring comment, return the current share price for a given ticker symbol. And this docstring, just as with the other agent frameworks, that's going to automatically be used to create the JSON that's going to be provided to the LLM. So if you were to do this manually, you'd have to write a lot of code to sort of put together that janky JSON that then gets sent to the LLM. You don't need to do that. You can just use the @tool decorator, and LangChain, the first layer, the core components, will take care of the rest of it for you. But it doesn't take care of everything. You still have some work to do because it's layer 1. So first you have to say, okay, we've got our LLM that we defined earlier, but we now want to have an LLM with tools. And you get that by taking your LLM and calling bind tools, providing in a list of tools. And you now have a LangChain object, which is LLM with tools. And what can you do to that? Well, you can invoke it. And I can say, what is the share price of Amazon? But I'm not going to get back a share price of Amazon. I'm going to get back the fact that it wants to make a tool call, rather like we would have done if we'd called the chat completions API ourselves. So as I told you, it's more granular. You have more control. You could choose to call a different tool if you wished. But if you want it to work, you have to look yourself at the tool call request. You have to see what it wants to do. You have to call the necessary tool and then call invoke a second time in order to get the final answer. You have to do that stitching together, rather similar to if you're actually calling the LLM natively yourself, just with a bit of abstraction. And then we do indeed get back our answer that Amazon is currently priced at $238. And look, it didn't lie. The current price of Amazon is indeed $238. So good old LangChain got it right, and AlphaVantage got it right. That is the share price. And as you can see, we were able to take advantage of some of LangChain's abstractions, but we still had to do a fair amount of work ourselves. All right, on to layer 2. And layer 2 is, of course, LangGraph, which is all about describing a workflow of LLM calls in the form of a dependency graph. A dependency graph is something which has nodes, which represents units of work, and edges, which connects together the different units of work into some kind of orchestrated workflow. And if you'd like to learn more about that, then of course I've got the AI engineering Agentic track course, which I'll link in the description, but also you could just Google it. LangGraph's documentation is really good and you can read about it. But now I want to show you what it looks like if we take the same example and we model it as a dependency graph in LangGraph. you can see that the code that we've got here, which involves creating a node called chatbot, which takes the same LLM with tools object, the same thing that we created a moment ago when we were working in layer 1. It calls invoke, just as we did in layer 1, but we wrap that in this function called chatbot, and that is going to become our node. We're going to define a graph. It's going to have a node called the chatbot. It's going to have tools, which is going to be a tool node, which is going to use the tool that we defined in layer 1, and then it's going to have some edges to connect these together. And the way to bring this to life is to show a diagram of it. Here it is. We call a chatbot node that has tools which can conditionally be called, in which case the answer will come back and then the chatbot will respond and eventually will end. This is a simple dependency graph. It is modeling the prior example. And now we are going to execute this graph with an example. And the way you run anything in LangChain is with invoke. And so we call graph.invoke. And let's just amp it up a little bit. The message we'll say is, what's more expensive, Apple or Google stock? And we'll use that so that it has to call the tool multiple times. And let's run this. And it is now using this dependency graph. And it's saying Google stock is more expensive right now. And that is correct. Now, this might seem like a lot of work, particularly if you've used one of the modern frameworks like OpenAI Agents SDK, and you're used to just equipping an LLM with tools, and that's the end of it. Well, that's why there's layer 3. That's why there is Create Agent. It is a wrapper around layer 2, as I keep saying. You can just say Create Agent, give it a model, give it some tools, give it a system prompt. Isn't that similar to the other frameworks? And then you can call the agent, and guess how you'll call it? You'll call it with invoke. And then we can say something like, what are the share prices of Apple and Google and Amazon? So it potentially has to make multiple tool calls and we'll get back an answer. And here we go. We run it. It uses its 3 tools and it's going to come back with an answer. And here are the current share prices. And I noticed that it has used up my 25 equity calls. So we're now getting the default values from the dictionary, but it shows that works too. Okay, there are the current share prices. This is Create Agent. Now a moment of truth for you. Check this out. I am going to ask this agent, this thing that I created here, to show us its underlying graph in LangGraph. And this is the graph that was created when we called this create agent function. That's what's being put underneath this agent object right here. And this should look pretty familiar to you because it's exactly the same as this. So all of this fancy work we did here that was quite granular and detailed can be replicated with this simple create agent function call. And it just goes to show you that layer 3 is a simplification built on top of layer 2. It means that for common tasks, you can just do it in a more convenient way. And finally, the new one, deep agents, the harness. So we can do something very similar. Deep agent is create deep agent. We give it a model. We give it tools again. We give it a system prompt. Now, it has some tools built into it, including a to-do tool. And anyone that's done my AI Engineer Agentic track will know my favorite lab when we build out our own to-do tool. Well, that comes in the package with Create Deep Agent. So we can tell it to use its to-do tool, use the tools, and write the answer. And then we can call our deep agent. And we can do that by calling invoke yet again. And we can say, look up the share prices, and then write a short markdown document that ranks them and write it to prices.md. We can then print out which tools it actually uses. Okay, we're going to kick that off. It's now running the create deep agent and it's giving it this message through the deepagent.invoke. And that's going to involve it calling our tool 3 times. But it might call more than that. It's used a tool called write to-dos that we didn't give it. That's one that was built in. It called get share price 3 times. Then it called write to-dos again. Then it called write file. And then it called write to-dos yet again. And by the way, it doesn't always do it in this order. Sometimes it doesn't do this write to-dos here. That's because it's autonomous. And so it has gone ahead and it's run its tools in a loop in order to achieve a goal. This is an agent harness at work. This is Create Deep Agent Layer 4. And you may notice it didn't actually tell us the answer, and that's because it wrote the answer as a file to its local virtual file system. And we can get it to output that like this, and we'll see that it did indeed produce some markdown that has the 3 share prices sorted from highest to lowest. And that is the result of running our agent harness. That is layer 4 of the 4 layers. And I hope you're now feeling relieved that you actually understand the difference between the various layers of LangChain and LangGraph. And you've got to admit, it's super confusing that layers 1 and 3 are both LangChain. But if you're not totally happy with this, then what you need to do is come to this Colab and run it all for yourself. That's the way you really get to understand it. And even if you already understand it, do that anyway. And if you enjoyed this, then please like and subscribe. That's the way I know you enjoy it. And I hope to see you very soon for another video.